He said, well, after church this morning, I went home. I washed and waxed my Ford F-150 pickup truck. She said, I hooked it up to that bass tracker boat my daddy gave me for Christmas. My legs were shaking. Good thing I sat down on the pail in the floor right there. She said, went out there on South Holston Lake, caught me 3 of the nicest smallmouth bass you ever did see. Got them things filleted out, got them marinated in some buttermilk. Going to fry them for supper tomorrow night. Folks, I dropped to my knees right there in the fellowship hall and begged that woman to marry me. Lord have mercy. Woo-hoo! You got a woman that got a truck. You got a woman what can fish, got a boat, can clean fish and cook. You don't let one like that get off the hook. No, I'm going to reel her in. Come to find out something, after our first or second date, women will lie to you too. Didn't have no truck. Didn't have no boat. Can't fish. Can't even put a worm on the hook. Can't cook. Never cleans the house. We've been married 25 years. The neighbors make us wipe our feet before we go outside. Okay? That's how I know it was love at first sight, because I went ahead and married her and adopted her 2 mean little girls. It's a 2 and a 3-year-old, just as mean as the striped snakes. I started to take them down there to the Pentecostal church and let them handle the kids. They're more dangerous than a copperhead. But I married her anyway and adopted them 2 kids, and that's how I know it was love at first sight. Yes, sir. But like I say, she had 2 girls and I had a girl. And how many daddies we got in here that's got daughters? Okay, how many? Okay, about half the room. Okay, I'm gonna share something with you. I got my daughters now are 26, 27, and 30. Okay. Got them all married off, one after another. 2012, 2013, 2014, got them all married off. I thought I was in high cotton. Got 3 weddings paid off in 3 years. Didn't have to borrow no money. 2015, all 3 of them got divorces within 2 months of each other. 3 divorces will cost you more than 3 weddings. Evidently, lawyers charge more than preachers. One of them actually was from a family of lawyers. One of my son-in-laws was. Come to find out something, after meeting his mama was a lawyer, his daddy was a lawyer, his sister's a lawyer. He was a high school dropout. Come to find out, spending time around them, that it's that 99% to give the rest of the lawyers a bad name. It really is. You can tell this joke sort of works its way from the front to the back, like a delayed reaction. I like that. But anyway, when my daughters was dating, is that like twerking and dirting? When my daughters, I've just washed my tongue and I can't do a thing with it, okay? When they were dating, I had that same joke that always stand-up comedians have about how when them boys come over, the ones you don't like, you need to have a Glock or a .357 Magnum, 12-gauge pump, something like that out there on the coffee table, and you look at them boys you don't like, and you just give them the eye, and you before they leave, you say, "That's my princess you're taking out the door there, and I don't mind going back to prison." I thought that would scare out the bad ones. Well, evidently it didn't work, because you see they all 3 wound up getting divorces. Well, now they're all dating again, and I've learned my lesson. So dads, this is the part y'all need to write down, okay? If them boys come over and you know they ain't no good and you don't want your daughter to marry them, start borrowing money from them. You will weed them out just like that. Woo! The driftwood won't come back. And the ones what loan you money, you start hugging on their neck. Yes, sir. But yeah, I knew one of them wasn't going to work out with us at all. I'm an easygoing guy. I try not to judge people. I really don't. I try not to judge people. But he had them big old holes in his ears, them gauges. Anybody here got them big old gauges in your ears? I ain't got nothing against you. I just trying to tell a joke, okay? So don't nobody get offended. Your kids at home got them. I ain't trying to make fun of them. But he did have them big old holes. I mean, I wanted to try to knock a golf ball through it for practice. Well, but I was okay with it until the first Christmas that he came to my house. I went out to the store and I come back, and here's a boy with a big old gauge sitting in my recliner, fast asleep. Even the dogs don't get in my recliner in my house. Sitting there sleeping in my chair, right next to the Christmas tree. Guess who took all the ornaments off the tree and hung them from them holes on his ears? Well, he came up to me. He was working at the waste treatment plant. We got a big old ski lodge near where I live called Wintergreen, and he worked up there at the sewer treatment plant and wanted to get promoted into management. So he came to me one day. He said, "Cornbread, I've been trying to get into management. I keep putting in applications every time a supervisor's job comes open, and I can't even get an interview. Can you help me a little bit?" I said, "Well, now, Carl, here's the thing. You got them big old holes in your ears. You got a bolt through your tongue. You got a ring through your nose. You got teardrops tattooed on your face. It might have something to do with your appearance." I talked to him. It just going out one ear and out that same ear. But I work for the highway department. Anybody here work construction, road construction, anything like that? That's what I done for 33 years for the Virginia Department of Highways. And I was, like I say, down there in Big Stone Gap, Virginia, and I was trying to move up myself. And they said, "Kenny, we'd like to have you come up and work right there around Washington, D.C. on that beltway that goes around to D.C. Now, it's 400,000 cars a day. Remember, I'm from a little town, 5,000 people. We have one red light, okay? But I said, there ain't enough money in the world to get me come up there and work in D.C. And I was wrong. Because when my wife found out how much they'd pay me to work up there in D.C., guess who packed my bags and sent me up there by myself? That same little sweet woman that don't have a truck or a bass boat. Guess who spent all my money at Walmart while I was gone? Got up there, first thing they asked me, they said, "Can you build a roundabout?" I said, "What?" They said, "Can you build a roundabout? We need somebody to build about 4 roundabouts near Dulles Airport. We want you to be in charge of it." I said, "What? How would you build a roundabout?" They said, "You know what a roundabout is, don't you?" I said, "Well, where I come from, a roundabout's the way we describe time. See, this show started around about 7 o'clock. Around about 9:30, you'll find me down at Sheets eating hot dogs, okay?" They said, No. That ain't what a roundabout is." They said, "Go in there to DuPont Circle and look, there's a big old roundabout there in D.C. Look at that thing and you'll figure out how to build it." So I did. Sure enough, I started building them roundabouts out there. Luckily, I was far enough outside of D.C. that I got out into the horse country outside of D.C. Some of y'all don't know it, but there's actually horse country just about 30 miles west of D.C. in Loudoun County, richest county in America. People there make over $100,000 a year per capita. So if you've got a family of 4, you ought to move there. You get $400,000 a year. It ain't so bad. Well, anyway, come to find out, there's a big old horse farm there. And the horse farm that I was building the roundabout next to was the one where Barbaro had been raised. Now, some of y'all ain't old enough to remember, but back about 20 years ago, there was a horse called Barbaro that won the Kentucky Derby running away from the field by about 7 lengths. Then went up to Belmont, there in Maryland, the only state named after King Arthur's magician. And it won the Preakness. Again, 5 or 6 lengths. Well, finally, they thought this is the horse what's going to win the Triple Crown, so they took it up there to New York State to run in the Belmont. Done won the Kentucky Derby, done won the Preakness. Guess what happened 2 steps out of the gate at the Belmont Stakes? Anybody say it loud?
Broke his leg.
Broke his leg, that's right. 2 steps out of the gate. Poor old Barbaro broke his left hind leg. They brought the best veterans from all over the country to try to doctor on that horse. Couldn't save the horse. Horse died. People up there were so upset when that happened that they went to the post office and had them issue a commemorative stamp. And I got me some of them. Great thing about these stamps, on the front you got a picture of Barbaro so you can see what he looked like. Flip it over on the back, you see what Barbaro tastes like. There's a few PETA people back there booing me. Bet you voted for Hillary, didn't you? Yeah. Boo me on my PETA joke. Y'all having fun tonight?
Yeah.
Good. I am too. Well, I'm going to tell you about my granny. Okay? Now, my granny was an old-time Pentecostal Church of God, old-time Pentecostal holiness. You know the kind. She's the kind that she would wear her paints inside the house, but if she was going to go out and sweep the front porch, she'd roll the legs up like this, and then put on a house dress over that and go out and sweep the front porch in case the preacher drove by. She didn't want him to see her, out there in her paints. They didn't allow it back then. Y'all like my paints? These paints are reincarnated. In a prior life, they were a bedspread at Motel 6. If they have really good karma for the rest of this life, maybe next time around, they might be like a bathing suit for Britney Spears. But if they have really bad karma, they'll come back as boxer shorts for Uncle Si. But anyway, my granny, that's the kind of woman she was, but she wanted to see the ocean. She'd never seen the ocean. We'd never seen the ocean. So she saved up her money, and we all went down to Myrtle Beach. Any of y'all been to Myrtle Beach? Ain't that a fun place to go on vacation? If you ain't been, you need to take your family to Myrtle Beach. All right? So anyway, we got down there, and I was a little kid, about as big as this fella right here. Wave at him. Stand up so I'll see how tall you are. I was about that tall, okay? Well, I was standing there in the water about up to my belly button like this. First time we'd ever seen the ocean. Here comes this big old wave, and it went over top of my head. Well, my granny, she's sitting back up there on the bank, and she sees her number 1 grandson disappear under that wave. She went to squalling. Now, again, she had the sundress, the house dress over top of her bathing suit. She didn't want to put lust in the heart of any of those men down there in Myrtle Beach. Here come Granny charging out into that ocean water to save me. About the time she got to me, of course, the wave goes over you, and then it goes, water's back down. I'm standing there just about belly button deep in the water. But Granny's going, "Oh, Kenny, are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, Granny, I'm fine." About that time, here come another big old wave, and it hit Granny right smack in the face, knocked her plumb upside down like this. Her little skinny legs are sticking out of the water. Me and my Uncle Leonard had to help her up. We got Granny up, got her in there to the shore. That wave done went and smacked Granny's false teeth plumb out of her head. We got the whole family. We started walking up and down the beach, hoping that ocean would push them teeth in. We were sort of watching. People walk by. They'd say, "Y'all looking for shark's teeth?" We said, "No, we're looking for Granny's teeth." Well, I want you to know that night when we went to the Ponderosa buffet there, where you can get all you can eat seafood, I saw love like never before between my granny and my grandpa. They sat there and they passed his dentures back and forth underneath the table so that Granny could eat her steak. Now, that right there is love, folks. I tell you. That is love. But you know what? We've had a good time tonight. Y'all had a good time? I had a good time. But I want to share another story with you. And this happened to me 2 years ago on Valentine's Day. I was invited down to Oceanic Naval Base, and they have one section there at Virginia Beach of Oceana called the Dam Deck Naval Station. And they had me at the Enlistment's Club, and it was Valentine's Day weekend, and they brought in about 150 military widows. Now, not all these widows had had their husband die in service, but they were all women that their husbands had been lifetime military, and now they were single, and it was Valentine's Day, and they were doing Valentine's Day alone. So they had me come and do comedy. And after it was over, this little lady came up to me. I didn't mean to spit on you, honey. I just popped out of there. I wasn't spitting at you. Anyway, this little lady, she walked up to me. She looked to be in her late 80s, early 90s. She said, "Can I talk to you?" And that's exactly the tone of voice she used. "Can I talk to you?" I knew she was my people, okay? She talked like I talk. See, some of y'all have been thinking this whole time, just because of the way I talk, you're thinking that I'm illiterate. Let me straighten that out right now. My mom and daddy was married 3 weeks before I was born, so I'm not illiterate at all. I'm not. And I'm offended that you thought so. Kids at the trailer park used to make fun of me because I was inbred. I had the last life on them because being inbred, I was born with 6 toes on each foot. Guess who's first kid in that trailer park I can count to 22? So she says, "Can I talk to you?" And I know that she's like me. She says, "Do you know where Cleveland is?" I said, "Yes, ma'am, I know exactly where Cleveland is. Cleveland's this little bitty coal town, about 700 people, about 7 or 8 miles west of Lebanon, Virginia. There ain't nothing there but a post office, a gas station, and a Dollar General store." She said, "That's right." She said, "The rest of these people in this whole room, they think it's in Ohio." I said, "No, ma'am, it's in Virginia." Notice she said it's in Ohio. We got anybody here from Ohio other than Marlena? All y'all from Ohio. I got news for you. Listen. Where I come from, we say Ohio. Because if your state only has 4 letters, you don't get 3 syllables, okay? There ain't no Ohio. It takes too long to say. Anybody else in here say Ohio? Just me. Me and one. Got one man here that knows the English language. You know, when I was up there working on them roundabouts in Northern Virginia, I worked with a guy that was a Muslim. And one day we were talking, his name was Muhammad. I said, "Muhammad, what's your native language from where you're from?" He said, "Well, I'm actually from Saudi Arabia." I said, "Well, what's your language there?" He said, "I speak Farsi." I said, "What?" He said, "I speak Farsi." I said, "Can you teach me how to speak Farsi?" And this is exactly what he said. Had a little bit of a British accent. "Well, Kenny, first I'd need to teach you how to speak English." So the little old lady, she looks at me, she says, "Can I tell you something else?" I said, "Yes, ma'am, you sure can." She said, "During World War II, my husband was a tail gunner on a B-17 bomber, and they told him that they had a life expectancy of 6 to 8 weeks because when the German fighters would come in to shoot down the American bombers, the tail gunner was the first one they tried to kill because he's sitting in that little bubble on the back of the plane. And if they could kill him, nobody else could shoot back at him." She said, he flew 50-some missions in World War II. His planes were shot down 3 times. Twice he parachuted out, and 1 time he swam away from the plane after it landed in the English Channel. She said, "I prayed him through that war." I said, "Really?" She said, "Yes, I believe that." I said, "You know what? I believe it too." She said, "We lived for 50 years after the war, had a successful business, raised 4 kids, a bunch of grandkids." She said, "I prayed him through that war." I said, ma'am, would you mind to pray for me? Because I got to drive from here back up I-64 tomorrow. But she said she would, and she laughed, and she gave me a kiss on the cheek. And she said, I will pray for you. And what I want y'all to know is before I go to bed tonight, Old Cornbread's going to pray for everybody that's here in this room. And I hope that y'all pray for me, okay? The only thing I've got to say is I really want to thank Mark Wood and his wife Sherry for having me here tonight. This is actually the first time Mark and I have been friends on Facebook for, I guess, 8 or 10 years. But this first time I got to work with him on the show, and I was really curious about what Mark was like. You know. So I asked his wife Sherry to send me a DVD of Mark preaching before I come up here, and she did. And so last Friday night, before I drove up here, me and the wife, we sat down, got the kids, the grandkids, everybody there together around TV, and we put in this DVD of Mark preaching. Any of y'all go to Mark's church? All right, about half of you. This must be the tithing bunch coming around. They bought a ticket. The non-tither stayed home. They wasn't going to buy no ticket. They'll wait and watch the DVD. But anyway, we're watching Mark there. I'm sitting there on my couch. We're watching Mark preach. Lord, let me tell you, that old boy can preach. This videotape she sent me, he sounded like one of them old mountain preachers where I come from. He was laying it down. He was like, you can be among a bunch of deadheads if you want to when the power of God is falling all around you and you can't feel a thing, or you can find yourself a place where the showers of blessings are coming down the hardest. You can throw away the umbrella and get yourself some of the blessings of God. It's up to you which way you want to go. As for me, I love the feeling from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet, and I know that God is alive. So old Mark, he's really preaching. That's the kind of preaching I like. I don't know if y'all do, but I like it. But by the time he got done with that DVD, our whole family got down off the couch and rededicated our lives. 2 of my dogs got saved. And we baptized the cat. Pretty sure the cat's Pentecostal, because when he came up out of that water, he was speaking in tongues. Thank y'all for being nice old country boys tonight.
Give it up for Cornbread! All right. Wonderful. Have you had a good time tonight? All right, let's bring out our comedians one more time. Would you please welcome back out Mr. Mark Wood, Marlena Mann, Dwight McCormick, and Cornbread Robinson. Let's give it up for it, ladies and gentlemen. Our Clean Comedy All-Star Tour. Ladies and gentlemen, they're going to be in the back. They'll be glad to meet with you, shake hands with you, take some pictures with them. Wish them well. Take care, hug your kids tonight, and tell Siri you love her. Good night.